Ms. Adrian Patterson for position 11 of the Houston Municipal Employees Pension System Board of Trustees.
Nomination for Mr. Adrian Patterson has been received. Chair recognizes Councilmember Pennington.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, hasn't he already been nominated for the other position?
He has, but I don't believe that the other position has not been confirmed, so I don't believe that there's any reason not to accept him under either. Obviously, if he were to be confirmed on this one, he would be removed from the other one. He would not be eligible.
Well, you know, that confuses the procedure. I mean, if two people have been nominated, and would it be possible for me to make a motion not to allow that?
No, sir.
That's confusing. I mean, the whole process is to confuse this. I mean, the whole process is to confuse this process. I'm trying to make it as straightforward as possible.
Yes, sir. The way to make it straightforward is to take a hard vote and somebody loses. But the floor is open for further nominations. If you have candidates you wish to nominate, please place
Would it be possible to take 28 out of order to vote on it first?
We are in the middle of a procedure, but the motion to suspend the rules. Mr. Feldman? I don't know if it would pass, sir, but there's a motion to suspend the rules and to take item 28 prior to this item. If there is a second to the motion, I believe that would be a legal procedural motion.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we suspend discussion of item 27A and take item 28 prior. Recognizing Councilmember Bradford for a point of order.
I'm going to yield to Mr. Feldman, if I may, Mayor, to get in, because I think procedurally we have a nomination response to a motion on the floor, and I think we have to dispose or do something with that particular issue. I'd like to yield to Mr. Feldman, if I may, please.
I hate when this happens. Because a nomination was received, Mayor, you can't suspend the rules in the middle of the
Okay,
matter.
I have called out a point of order. Councilmember Pennington, do you have a nomination to offer?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and nominate Mr. Rick Badger. I've circulated around my written motion to nominate him, and also his resume, as well as a statement from the general counsel of his employer that his alleged conflict issues have been resolved that the mayor discussed last time.
Second.
Nomination has been received for Mr. Rick Badger. Are there other nominations?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradford.
Thank you, kindly, Mayor. I'd like to nominate Dr. Bernard A. Harris, Jr. for a Board of Trustee position, to position 11 on HMS Board.
Nomination has been received for Dr. Bernard Harris. Is there a written nomination?
Yes, there's a written nomination that has been disseminated.
It doesn't need to be seconded, that's what I was confirming. Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez. Councilmember Lassiter.
I don't have a nomination, so that's the good news.
Let us receive nominations and then we may discuss
Oh, I'm sorry.
the process. If you would, I'll come back. Councilmember Adams, you have are there any further nominations? Let me have a motion to close nominations.
Second.
Discussion, favoring, opposed, motion carries. Nominations are closed. Chair recognizes Councilmember Lassiter for discussion.
Thank you, ma'am. I guess I'm glad I said that I didn't have a nomination, so we could clarify that. I think the exchange is going to prove my concern. There's going to be back and forth on multiple points of order on this. All of my council colleagues are very concerned about making sure that we get the right person for the positions. A number of us have had the opportunity to visit with these individuals, and they're all stellar folks. And I certainly want to make sure that the pension has the best folks on it as possible. I'm conflicted. I'm trying to find the most honorable way to vote for on these positions, as I'm sure all my council members are. It's very possible I'll just vote no on all of them at this point in time. So, thank you.
Councilmember Adams.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to make one comment. The common denominator of this pension board are City of Houston employees. And we have to make sure that whoever we put in this position will represent our employees when we're thinking about this pension system. And so that's my comment. And so we have to always consider who we're talking about. It's not whether it's Dr. Harris, Mr. Badger, Mr. Adrian, or whoever. It's about the welfare and the being of our pension system for our City of Houston employees. So keep that in the forefront of while we're making these decisions. Thank you.
Councilmember, respectfully, these nominees are fiduciaries to the system. They do not and should not represent employees or retirees. They are fiduciaries of the pension system, and I think we should all be clear on that. Councilmember Cohen.
Thank you, Mayor. I just need to get some clarity. As I understand it, we have one nomination right now for position 10. No.
Two.
Whoa, 2, 3, no. Hold on. Mayor?
Councilmember, last week for position 10, council nomination for the Houston Municipal Pension System, there were 2 nominations received, Dr. Bernard Harris and Mr. Adrian Patterson.
Okay.
Today, for position 11, those same nominees have been put forward in addition to the current incumbent, Mr. Rick Badger. So we have 2 positions and 3 people in effect.
Okay, for some reason, I apologize, and I was under the impression that we had one nominee for position 10, and we don't, we have 2.
Yes, ma'am.
But we're taking up position 11, we're talking position 11 first.
Correct. And that's simply because one was a matter held and there was not a procedural motion to move it first.
Okay.
Today, we could have taken it out of order, but we did not. I was called on a point of order this time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. As a courtesy to my nominee, he has indicated me that he was nominated by me previously. That's the position he was advocating for. That's the position he contacted council members for, and not position 11. So while his name is on the list for position 11, I just feel it necessary to point out that as my nominee, his desire was to be in position number 10.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes, ma'am. One clarification, please. Does the position 10 or 11 serve on the board? Is there a distinct difference in the roles?
No, sir. It is just our rules of order and by how the agenda is structured as to which one they are nominated for. There is no difference between the positions.
Okay. I just wanted clarification on that because I didn't know it was such a ordeal to nominate someone for another position. Because maybe I feel strongly about this candidate, and I want to see if he has the best option, the best percentage chance to get into either one of the positions. Thank you.
Understood, Councilmember. Councilmember Lassiter.
Thank you, Mayor. My question is a point of order to the sense of just trying to help clarify as much as possible. We have 2 items that we're ultimately going to get to. We're looking at item number 27 at this point in time, which is looking at position number 11, correct? There are 2 nominees or 3 nominees? Adrian Patterson, Rick Badger, and Mr. Harris. Is that correct? And have we actually taken a nomination for item number 28? I'm confused by that.
Last week.
Last week. So in that position, we still currently have, because we put 2, Mr. Patterson and Mr. Harris.
One of these 3 men is going to go home unhappy at some point.
I just wanted to clarify that. Now, if we determined, and I don't know the answer to this question, do we know how long, is it a 3-year term? Is that what it is? Maybe I see it here on the yeah, they're 3-year terms, I believe. I think the agenda says it. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Freeman.
Mayor, I call the question.
Motion to call the question. We will vote. Is there a second to call the question?
Second.
Point of order, or maybe clarity, I don't know if this is possible. If the nominations have been closed on number 10,
They've been closed on both. There was a formal motion to close nominations will vote.
So technically, if Badger fails this round, he cannot be nominated for the second.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
There was a motion to close nominations, there was a motion to, call question, there was a second to that. We will move to a vote on calling the question. Favoring, opposed, motion carries to call the question.
Madam Department, since
Sir.
there's three people, is a majority required or?
There's a majority required, and I haven't used this process in a while, but the way it would work, we would do a roll call vote, and council members will offer the name of the candidate they are choosing. If no one receives a majority, the top two will go through the process again. The council members are all clear on the way that the process works.
Okay, Mayor Parker,
Mr. Badger.
Councilmember Brown,
Badger,
Davis,
Harris.
Cohen,
Badger.
Adams, Martin,
Badger.
Long, Pennington,
Badger.
Gonzalez,
Mr. Badger.
Rodriguez,
Mr. Badger.
Laster, Horton.
We actually don't have a procedure for abstention. If you would like to step out of your chair, that is the only way you may abstain. See you later.
Green,
Harris.
Costello,
Badger.
Parks,
Harris.
Noriega is absent, Bradford,
Harris.
and Christie.
Badger.
The vote is 10 votes for Badger, 5 votes for Harris, two council members absent. Mr. Badger is, I will now ask for a motion to confirm the vote for Rick Badger for appointment to position 11 of the Houston Municipal Employees Pension System.
I'll move.
Second.
Just to confirm the results of the vote.
Second.
Moving to a vote, favoring, opposed, motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Badger. I don't know why you want to put yourself through this again.
I'm not sure I do, but I'm glad to serve, Mayor.
Okay, now we proceed with item 28, that's under matters held. And is to select and confirm the appointment of either Mr. Patterson or Dr. Harris to position 10.
Council members, these nominations were already received last week. It would be a similar process. I will open the floor to discussion. If there is discussion, seeing no discussion, we will move straight to a vote.
Okay, Mayor Parker,
Mr. Patterson.
Councilmembers Brown,
Harris,
Davis,
Mr. Patterson.
Cohen,
Mr. Patterson.
Adams, Harden,
Patterson.
thank you, Martin,
Harris.
Long,
Mr. Patterson.
Pennington,
Mr. Patterson.
Gonzalez,
Mr. Patterson.
Rodriguez,
Mr. Patterson.
Laster is absent, Green,
Patterson.
Costello,
Mr. Patterson.
Burks,
Harris.
Noriega is absent, Bradford,
Harris.
and Christie.
Patterson.
11 votes for Mr. Patterson, 4 votes. Twelve votes for Mr. Patterson, 4 votes for Mr. Harris. And motion to confirm the nominations.
Second.
And moving to vote favoring, opposed, motion carries. Congratulations to Mr. Patterson. And if Mr. Harris is in the chamber, I don't know whether he is, sir. Thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for your willingness to serve. I will definitely, if you are still interested in this board, consider you as one of my nominees in the future, and I appreciate you putting yourself through the process. Thank you. Councilmember Adams.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Harris, for all your service. Many of you, if you don't know who Dr. Bernard Harris is, I suggest that you Google him. Not only is he an astronaut and a doctor, but the first African American to go up in space for NASA, a friend of mine. That's why this vote was so tough for me. And I just commend you for wanting to volunteer and to serve on part of the pension board. And Mayor, if I may make a suggestion publicly, no disrespect for the Boards and Commission director, but I think that when we're coming up with nominations that are expired, I think that we have to do our due diligence to make sure that we bring it forward in a timely manner, because I believe if this would have been brought up in 11 or before, we wouldn't be here today. So no disrespect to the person who's over that, but I think that in moving forward, we have to accommodate these positions and bring them forward, whether or not they're our candidate or not. But we just have to be respectful to let people know that these positions, council know, these positions are available and they are expired because they was allowed to serve in those positions for 2 years in an expired term. So I think that we have to do better as leaders to make sure that we don't pin people against each other, because this was very, very tough for me to pick between friends. And so this takes me back to the port vote. We just can't do this. We shouldn't do this in the public. We should have this behind the scenes and bring these positions forward and discuss this, and not in public to humiliate or downgrade any person that we nominate as a council. Now, what they just saw is division among council, that somebody don't want me, or we just put our feelings out on the table, and we should not be in those positions as leaders. We have to come together as one to make these various decisions. So who do I blame at this point? That this should have been brought up a long time ago, so we wouldn't be in this position right now today. Because now we're just pitting people against people, and no one is going to walk away happy on this decision that was made today. Thank you.
Councilmember, if I may respond, you are exactly correct. I apologize and take full responsibility for not moving these items forward sooner. There will always be divisions among council members when multiple good nominees come forward. I have the Director of Boards and Commissions has met with Ms. Pennington. I believe she's attempting to meet with Mr. Bradford, or may have met with Mr. Bradford prior to the Council Governance Committee meeting. She has created a spreadsheet, which did not exist in the past, so the council members can see those nominees that are council nominees. Everybody will have the same sheet of paper. You can see when all the nominees come forward, and that should be distributed.
And just for clarity, Mayor, and we can put on the paper, on the spreadsheet, mayor appointee, council appointee, on that, so we would know, because there's a lot of appointees come forward that they say mayor and council, and so some of us feel if it's a council appointee, then we should be able to make that appointment, have a process in place to making that nomination, so we would know, so we could take the politics out of it, because it really puts us in a bad spot to do that, when politics play a part in what we're trying to do. So that's the concern that I have as a council member and as a leader. I think we have to do better in our due diligence in doing that and moving this forward. And that is my request as a council member to this administration. Thank you.
And to all council members, there are actually only a handful of council nominations. The spreadsheet reflects only council nominations and will be distributed to council so that you will have it when you have your council governance meeting. Council Wong?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I know that as a leader, we have to take tough decisions in some instances, and this is one of the instances we have to take tough decisions. But it doesn't mean that the candidate is not qualified. I can see that Dr. Harris is a very, very qualified candidate for this position, and I have to appreciate his willingness to serve on the board. And definitely, next time if there's some position open, he has a better chance to be voted by the council members. So again, thank you, Dr. Harris, for your willingness to serve, and thank you for all council members for working out on this issue. So finally, we have good candidates and also qualified leaders on the board. Thank you.